What's up, fight fans? This is Counterpunch with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning the Wildettes, the Wilder fanatics. This video is for you guys. First off, let me say this. You guys thought Wilder was invincible. You know, because I was just thinking, like, why is it that you guys, none of you guys turned into detectives when Tyson Fury was fighting Deontay Wilder the first fight? Why did you guys become all of a sudden forensic specialists when Tyson Fury stopped Deontay Wilder in the 7th round to convince multiple sources, the ref and the trainer, to stop the fight? And I was like, yo, what's up with that? Like, why are they now just, you know, turning into that? They thought he was invincible. You know why they thought he was invincible? Because of what Wilder was boasting about. He was boasting that Tyson Fury couldn't punch, that Tyson Fury had pillows for fists, that he walked right through those punches. He laughed at the idea of Tyson Fury's punching power. He didn't bring it no regard. But you have to ask yourself, if Deontay Wilder didn't think nothing of Tyson Fury and held him no threat, for one, why is he fighting him again? For two, where's the challenge at? Counterpunch. So yeah, that was a fight that Deontay Wilder thought that he was easily going to win. And he wanted Tyson Fury to hold him on high regard because he gave him that opportunity to get back in the limelight. Okay? But why did you guys then turn into detectives and get enraged, or you're getting enraged and pissed off as though Deontay Wilder is the next Rodney King? That's how you guys are acting. You guys acting like Deontay Wilder's a Trayvon Martin. That ain't no Trayvon Martin situation. You know, the only thing Rodney King and Deontay Wilder has in common, that Deontay Wilder, they both got beat the fuck up. But for one, Don King was beaten by racist cops in LA just for shits and giggles, because that's normally what they did over there. The LAPD beat people up for fun. Mark Furman, you know, did a confession, which he thought was going to be a screenplay, that he could hide the identities of cops and stuff like that. But in fact, it was released over to the defense of O.J. Simpson. You know, and that really cracked the barrel of that case, Mark Furman. He was the reason why O.J. Simpson walked. That and some gloves. Funny, gloves. Right? That's a funny comparison, analogy, but hey, you know what I mean? And, you know, the gloves got him off. But it was Mark Furman. Well, in this situation, you have guys that are wishing Javon Sugarhill death, then death threats. So not only do you wish this man, oh, I wish you would die in a car fire. What warrants that type of outrage? You know what I mean? Why would you want someone to take that type of misfortune and dying in a car fire because Deontay Wilder got beat? He had a dent in his mandible, so he couldn't have been hit. Man, look, the stupidest thing about that, I keep telling guys and everybody that will listen, that shit with the foul play, that should have been addressed first, not second. He's trying to rush Fury back into the ring because he thought Fury cheated him, this, that, and the other, and all that. But then you should address the cheating first. I never seen nobody that wanted to jump back in the ring with a person because he thought they cheated. But I guess if you felt they cheated, I can see, well, you know, you do have pillows for fists, because I felt the difference between how you punched me in the first fight versus the second. But the irony of that is, okay, the irony of that is that Deontay Wilder was supposed to be cheated by Tyson Fury in the first fight. See, the glove gate was backwards as shit. It was a backward situation where they had a review of the first fight and found, oh, well, his gloves look funny and floppy and this, that, and the other, which they did look funny and floppy. You know, awkward ass Fury putting on gloves or whatever. You know, but that's the reference. Deontay Wilder said, well, hey, he had no power. So nobody could tell me on Wilder's side, why did Deontay Wilder regard Tyson Fury as being a pillow puncher if he cheated? So if he cheated, he would have to put something in the gloves that made him feel something. But Wilder said he felt nothing. But that goes back to, oh, well, he has a high tolerance of pain. Again, that was the point where they felt that Deontay Wilder was invincible. They thought he was just this superhuman, you know, tougher than life kind of character. He's a human being. He bleeds. He swells. He hurts. Okay? That's what it is. 290, brother.
Thank you, sir.
And it's one of those situations where these guys thought that he was invincible. Therefore, they thought that he couldn't be beat, on top of being beat by a guy that couldn't punch like Tyson Fury, as professed by Deontay Wilder. You know what's going to be weird? Trying to explain how Tyson Fury wasn't able to hurt Wilder in the first fight, and then he could get hurt like he did in the second fight. See, they would have had me, especially with that point, well, he hurt him in the second fight. Why didn't he hurt him in the first? Like that. They would have had me. I'm like, okay, that's a good point. But if you go back and you watch that fight in the 12th round, Deontay Wilder got buckled by a left hook, a straight right, then a left hook. And in fact, I'm going to put the link below because it's on my Instagram. Okay? The man buckled, and when Wilder was in an exchange with Tyson Fury, he caught a right hand, a straight right to the jaw, and a left hook to the side of the face. And then he buckled. You can clearly see it. Okay? And I'm going to leave it below. That's the first fight, the very first fight when these guys encountered each other, when they squared off. And that's why the difference between the punching power. But then again, if it was such a difference, again, why are you talking about the first fight? They thought the man was invincible. And everybody that's trying to have death threats on Javon Sugarhill, for what? You mad because Tyson Fury took a black guy, and the black guy taught this man how to punch and beat up a black guy. That's what you mad about. You know what I mean? That means you should be praising the black man for teaching him how to fight. You know what I mean? He had to, but of course they're not going to see it that way, because they're going to look at it like, oh, he's a coon. And like Tay Jones said, he's on the wrong side of history, this, that, and the other. Well, like Javon said, no, you guys didn't call me for Wilder. Wilder was so proud. He had his white trainer, Jay Diaz, and then he had Mark Breland, the traitor, allegedly. Right? So that's what we had. That's all we had. But no, it goes back to these guys, these delusional fans that thought Deontay Wilder could never be hurt due to the fact of all the other punches that he took. He took the punches from Luis Ortiz. He took, really, that was basically his worst, that's his best test, to date, was the Ortiz fight. Then the Fury first fight. And, he really didn't have any scares, except he was buckled in the 12th round. But yeah, you guys thought he was absolutely invincible. Okay? Now, it's not no one's fault but Wilder's to put such a high regard on that rematch. You had that in Black History Month. You got whooped in Black History Month. You said you was going to have him a Black History question, a black history trivia question. You know what I'm saying? And then that just, it was embarrassing. And I think the outrage is really to cover up the embarrassment of the high standard that Deontay Wilder set upon that fight, and then he lost. So it does look bad. That's like Princess Ahmed losing during Ramadan. And I know Muslims don't even fight in Ramadan, you know, but you know, it's like that happening. It's like he's saying, well, Allah is great. I'm going to show you how great Allah is during Ramadan. And then he gets beat. So, you know what I mean? I see the appeal and the cover up. You know what I mean? They have to save face. And that's exactly what it is. I think this is an idea of them saving face during this time, because Wilder got beat at a time where he's supposed to win like no ever before. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.